poet who goes by the name of Chase Jacobs. He does a thing called Short Poetry over on YouTube. He asked me, what's my story? How did I get involved with poetry? What was my influences? And the short answer is J.R.R. Tolkien, author of Lord of the Rings, among other books. Because every book that J.R.R. Tolkien wrote is full of poetry in it. I mean, it's so well written that the poetry can and has been sung, put to music. But I think he needs to know a longer version, and so do y'all. So the truth of the matter is that I've been influenced by a lot of things over the course of my life. Anything from Dr. Seuss, Aesop's Fables, nursery rhymes, this book that we call a Holy Bible, to school, to life experiences, work. But the thing that influenced me pretty much more than anything else was probably music. And to go through the list, something like started with country, particularly Glenn Campbell, Johnny Cash, Barbara Mandrell, and the Mandrell sisters, the Oak Ridge Boys, Statler Brothers, Kenny Rogers, Roger Miller, and the list goes on. Got into disco, got into pop, got into rock, a lot of rock, got into something called heavy metal, got into hardcore punk, got into rap. And yeah, in addition to Run DMC, we also could include like the Fat Boys, Houdini, the Rapper's Delight song. Anyway, let's continue on. Got into Irish folk, got into classical music, got into jazz, got into Christian music, got into underground music, which basically means college radio. Got into, went back to classical. And then I started to get into some shows that are called anime, cartoons out of Japan. And the thing that got to me with Japanese cartoons was always the opening theme and the closing theme. And they were not really in English, but that didn't matter. I liked the music anyway. At some point I would have gone and got a translation. And there was this one show called Inuyasha. And what happened was that they played the opening theme only 5 times. Three times I was able to record temporarily. But then they would stop showing the opening theme, and so I'm like saying to myself, how do I find it? Took 4 years. 4 years of search. And finally got to see it with the help of a anime group up in Southwest Virginia. The year after that, I learned about this thing on the internet called YouTube. And needless to say that I was happy to be on YouTube, to just be viewing. Never mind, I had no idea that you could actually get on it and you could record things and become one of the stars there. But anyway, that was my influences. And quite honestly, when I listened to a lot of poetry, a lot of poems, it used to be that I would get really bored. And it wasn't because the poetry was bad. I mean, well-written poetry is well-written poetry, and it will be appreciated by just about anybody, including spoken word artists. But it's all in the way that it's presented. And a lot of people just didn't present it. I mean, why do we get into storytelling? Because we want to look at some piece of paper and just act like we're children that are like listening to something in a book? No, we get into storytelling because we like when somebody looks you straight in the eye. And they use a lot of emotion and a lot of motion and a lot of just open dialogue. You know how that goes, right? Right? So anyway, yeah, I'm also influenced by storytelling because, quite honestly, the storytellers do have a way of connecting with their audience. They know how to make the story come to life. They know how to get people to stay awake. They know how to at least present something in a way that will even get my attention. You know how that goes. So anyway, to make a long story short, because I know that y'all don't want me to drag on and on and on, I'm really influenced by a lot of things. Well, by the way, as far as musical influences, the most recent ones, because of YouTube, have been basically any language, anywhere in the world, going from Japan down to Argentina, up into Canada, over into Finland. I'd even go and say a case for Saudi Arabia. I actually heard a video, or watched a video done in Arabic. Go figure. It didn't, I mean, I couldn't understand the language, but who cares? It was a good song. That's all that mattered to me. Also, did a thing called folk dancing. And like with folk dancing, there's a lot of songs that come out of Eastern Europe, a few of them out of Asia, one or two out of the United States. Oh well. But it didn't matter. All that mattered was that it was poetic, that it actually was good enough to dance to. And dance, I did. And dance, you could, if you so wanted to. Anyway, I want to just wrap this up because, quite honestly, I don't know where else to go with this. I didn't rehearse this. Thank you for putting up with me, and thank you all. I'll see you next video. Thank you.